Today we are joined by Kevin Lerner, a leading presentation consultant and speech coach with over 25 years of experience training executives and teams how to deliver innovative dimensional presentations, as he refers to them. And with that, I will pass it over to you, Kevin, to get us started.
Thank you so much, David and Christopher. Thanks for engaging this project and for everyone for being with us today. And so many times I'll go to a conference room, and maybe you've gone to a conference room and you've seen something like this, just an abominably boring slide and people just falling asleep, not paying attention. So how do you go from something like this to something like this, with a dynamic graphic, a dynamic speaker, the audience is engaged? This is what we're attempting to get at today. The name of the program is Dimensional Presentations. I say that because a lot of times I would be evaluating somebody in Toastmasters and saying your presentation's flat, it's just full of facts and data. I want something more rich, more dimensional. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But fundamentally, our program today is full of strategies, tips, and examples to create and deliver great presentations. What do you guys define as success? If I was to say this presentation was successful, how would you define that? Chris?
If everybody can take one thing that they improve their presentations with and implement those internally within our team, that's going to make us more successful, and especially with our customers as well.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. So today's topics. We've got 4 key topics. We're going to talk about the big picture of dimensional presentations. We're going to take a new area about breathing in presentations, breath in presentations, and the importance of breath when it comes to delivering and designing presentations. During the COVID era of online presentations, I put this whole 40-slide section together about top tips for amazing web-based presentations and meetings. And then we've got some resources available to you guys that Christopher and David have that they'll introduce at the end of the program that can help with your presentations. So let's start with this technical component here. And the main point here is that when we're doing a web-based presentation or any presentation, it's valuable to be confident or familiar and practiced with your technology. Familiar, confident, and practiced. This means that you don't just get on and say, oh, I've never done this before. I'm not a technical person. I don't know what I'm doing. I hate doing these web. You got to be confident and come across like you're in charge and know your stuff. And even if something goes south, you really got to be as prepared as possible. We'll talk about that in a bit. But Teams is a complex tool, a platform, and David and Chris and I were on a little earlier just to make sure everything was good. How many of you have ever seen something that doesn't work out right because people are just so unprepared? Yeah, right. So that's where the value of this comes in. I like to encourage people to use a computer rather than a tablet or a phone. It's pretty cool that you can conduct a meeting and talk with someone around the world from your handset, your phone, but the reality is that your computer and the platform for Teams or Zoom has a lot more muscle than the tablet, and the ability to type in. You can do a lot more with this. So I encourage everyone to use a tablet, or rather a computer rather than a tablet. Audio matters. Invest in a headset or professional microphone because you really want to sound like you're a pro. Maybe if you're talking with your cousins or family, you don't need to use this. But this is business. This is the business of the 21st century. Here we are. And so this is the way we're doing it, and it's valuable to look like you're an expert in your field. Make sure your camera is well positioned. The Goldilocks camera positioning, you don't want to be too far. You don't want to be too close. Just try it just right. So project your presence, not just your picture. So I welcome you to try some of these techniques out, because that is the last of this section for presentation tips for web-based presentations, amazing tips. So here we are, just around 1 o'clock on a happy Friday, and thanks again for everyone for coming along, and I hope that you lose sleep thinking of all the exciting things you can do with presentations now. So.
Great. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, thank you again for joining us today. I think this was super helpful, and I think a good opportunity for all of us to kind of rethink, how we create presentations and how do we effectively deliver them as well. So again, everyone, happy Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Hope you enjoyed MDS Camp, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks.